Go. Hey y'all, what's going on? This is the pull-up experience, guys, and y'all know how we do. Tonight we have Miss Ladi Patterson tonight, and she's going to grace us with her presence tonight and tell us her great story about how she balances being an author, a mother, an entrepreneur, and does it with such grace and beauty. So, without further ado, Miss Patterson, would you like to introduce yourself to our audience tonight?
Hi, I'm Lady Patterson, and I was born and raised here in Cleveland, but I grew up most of my time as a kid in Alabama
Okay.
up until I was about 15 years old.
Mm.
And I grew up on the east side of Cleveland.
I was about to ask you what part of Cleveland, because Cleveland's pretty vast. So I about to say rep your hood one time.
It's on East 89th Street between Woodland and Buckeye.
Okay, okay, okay.
It's that
Yeah,
one little section right there
yeah,
in
yeah. No,
between.
no.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Buckeyes is a great place in the city. Okay, so as everyone knows, I like to start where it all began because you tell me this. Did you when you were growing up, did you tell yourself you always wanted to be an author of a book, or was it or where did you have a different aspiration that later led to that?
Well, actually, I was that little girl that had many creative things in my head.
Mm,
So I was the little girl that used to stand in the middle of the kitchen floor, and I was everything. I was a teacher, I was a model, I was a
mm.
dancer,
No limits.
and right, I was just some of everything. And as I got older, I hit on every single different one. So I did model, so I did dance, so I
Mm.
did. The writing came in after my dad passed away in 2008.
I'm sorry to
So
hear
I
that.
used to just thank you. So I used to just write down things and write down things. And so in 2010, that's when I wrote my first book.
Mm. And
Yeah.
I want to get into that because I know a lot of people. Uh, I'm not speaking for everyone. I speak for myself. I know for me because I've written some ebooks, and I know for
Mm-hmm.
me it was not easy. It was not easy at all because I know for me I would like have little ideas and I like put on a sticky pad and I'm like where did
Uh-huh.
it go?
Yes.
So I want to go over the process that it took for you to even get how to write the book. And let me ask you this. So my question for you now is, what were some of the obstacles that you faced when trying to write your book?
When I first wrote my first book, first, like I said, I was just jotting down things in my notebook.
Mm,
And then after that, I had to find a self-publishing company. So
mm,
when you're doing the self-publishing, you need to be able to edit it yourself, and what you see is what you get. So
okay.
you need to be able to do your copyright page. You need to do everything that you needed to do. So I think that the biggest problem I had back then was the editing part. You can't speak the you cannot speak the way that you write. And
Mm,
I did that for many years. So like you know how if you have a little slang talk to yourself or whatever, you can't write that too.
mm.
So you have to get it edited. But I did not do the editing until just last year, out of all of these years. So in 2010, when I was just learning, I had to get the self publishing done, and that was mostly it. But the biggest part that I have learned over the last 13 years is editing is important.
So okay. So you said a lot of important things just now. I want to backtrack a little bit because for my
Okay.
audience, in case they're not familiar with what it means to copyright, can you break that down for them a little bit and why that's so important when it comes down to having a book or a product of any source of any type?
You have to copyright it because if you don't have it copywritten, then someone else could possibly come along and rewrite your book or do something else with it, like a movie or whatever, without your permission. It's a normal process in any book, whether it's self-publishing or any other publishing, that you must put that copyright page in the book.
Mm. I remember a little while back, I was reading an article talking about the woman who wrote the Terminator in the Matrix. A black woman did,
Mm-hmm.
by the way.
Yes.
And
Okay.
she sued Warner Brothers Studios for I think it was like $3 billion and won because once again she had a copyright. And
Yes.
like you said, they took her writings and made those movies that made that all that money. And she's like, I need to get my money because I copy. Like you said, she copy wrote those books, and that's why it's so important. So thank you for explaining that for the audience and whatnot. And one thing I do want to point out is that I love how you said you just started editing last year, but with your books, but that didn't stop you. You did it. You did it. You
I
put
kept
out
going.
this,
Yes.
exactly. And I think that's something that I want the audience to, go over their head. Like you didn't wait for perfection. You didn't wait till you had everything together. You was like, I'm putting it out, and I'll work on the rest later.
Yes.
So that's something and y'all. So I'm sorry, y'all. My ringer's not working tonight, but that was a bomb jump right there. Because once again, I think a lot of us as entrepreneurs or who want to become entrepreneurs, we get so tied up in the details. We get tied up in trying to make sure everything is of a certain level. When at the end of the day, put it out and not put it out, but work on it, and then work. Keep working. Keep
working on it. Correct.
exactly.
Yes.
So thank you for that, because like I said, I know for me, and it's probably the best way to go about business. But for me, I'll put it out. My friend Daz, he gets mad at me because he's like, man, you just put out anything. I won't say I'll put out anything, but I'm willing to try any and everything and see if it works and then perfect it later on.
That's right.
So thank you for that. So okay, so let's talk about the book, because I know we all know there's different categories of literature, right? We all know that, right?
Yes.
Now, would you say so? What type of category would you say your book falls into?
Which book? I have 7.
So
So which one you want to?
let's start with the first one. I'll start for the first one, then we're gonna go down them all. What's your first
Okay.
book? What type of literature would you say that is?
The first book is a book of thought.
Okay.
And the first book is Through God She Made It. I'm sorry. Through God She Made It. And it's a book about my youngest daughter who have multiple disabilities. She has autism, epilepsy, developmental delay, and cerebral palsy. I wrote that in November of 2010. I would say that book is to help other parents or other people who have people in their life that has multiple disabilities.
Yeah.
Because when my daughter was born, the doctors didn't say she would make it past 4 or 5. And she's 19 today.
She's 19. I was about to ask you, how old is she today? That's amazing. God is good.
Yes,
God
yes.
is good.
So then you go into my next book is That Which Doesn't Kill Me Makes Me Stronger. I wrote that one March of 2011. But that was after my dad passed in 2008. And that was the book that I was speaking of about thoughts.
Okay.
I just had all these different thoughts of what I was feeling from him passing away. So I think I feel like that book is to help people, anyone who is having a rough time in their life or something like that, or they just want to write something out, like a book of journal.
Yeah.
If God can bring me to it, he can bring me through it. That is a book about my life growing up. What I remember and what was told to me. And that book is, I had to write it down because I couldn't remember exact dates, July of 2013.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was about my life growing up.
So let me get this straight. You wrote these books, 3 books in
So
the
far,
span
yes.
of 4 to 5 years. Wow, that's impressive. That's impressive.
Then I have I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm just still real on the fact that you've written these books, one right there each other. Let me I mean, because y'all, but let me ask you, do you think it got easier as you did each book to write the next one, because you got to a kind of like a flow of it all?
It did get easier.
Okay.
As time went by, I was able to just like write more and write more. There are times when I can get in front of the laptop and just write for hours. And before you know it, we're at 10,000 words.
Wow.
So it helped me out a lot as each book came along. Yes. So then you have A Lifetime of Love, and that was March of 2015.
Okay.
And it was about two high school sweethearts who lost each other and found each other in Paris. Okay.
Hmm.
So it was a love romance, and I want to say that that book hit on all genre because you have spirituality in it.
Yeah.
You have LGQ. You know what I mean. I'm trying to say it
Listen.
right. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
want to mess that up.
No, you got it. You got it.
Right. Okay. And so because everybody was excited about A Lifetime of Love, they wanted to know what happened next,
Hmm.
which I love. So I wrote A Lifetime of Love parts 1 and 2. And the reason that I combined 1 and 2 together is in case anyone did not read part 1, because it's just like watching a movie and you see part 2 and you're like, well, what the heck happened
Right. Right. Right.
in part 1? So what I did was I combined the book, and that one was in March 2017.
Hmm.
Then I wanted to change the dynamics of it, and I stepped outside of the box and I did a children's book, Shayla and Mike's Big Adventure. So
Hmm.
it's two children that's on an adventure in a safari. But keep in mind that the little girl, Shayla, has autism.
Hmm.
So I got into the mind frame of my youngest daughter that has multiple disabilities. And then I thought about my two grandchildren, how they just be in their own little world. And
Right.
then it took me back to when I was that little girl standing in the middle of the kitchen floor with all my ideals. So that was 2018. And now we're on Testimony that just came out last month. And Testimony is how being obedient changed me.
Hmm.
And that is another book of journal. And it starts with the infamous Dear Diary, and is backed up with scripture
That's
of
all.
all my tests that turned into testimony. Not all of them, but I went back to 2015.
Hmm. So
Yes,
okay, help my math right there. We got one, two, three, four, five. How many books is that?
that's
That's
7.
that's 7 books in how many years?
Yes, since 2010 and 13.
13. Wow, 7 books in 13 years. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it's got to be it got to be a record. That's got to be records right there because I think that's amazing. That's amazing right there. So I wish my buzzer was working out. We would be clapping right now, guys. But y'all know. So
We'll
insert
clap
clap right
together.
here.
We'll
Yeah,
clap
right,
together.
right, right, right. Exactly.
Thank
So
you.
I want to pause you for that. Now I have a question because while you were telling me about each book, I want to know like did each book require a different level of preparation for each book, or was it the same mindset or the same preparation with each book that you wrote?
Well, one of the things is I had to decide whether I wanted to self publish or whether I wanted to do vanity publishing. Vanity publishing is you pay into it per month, and that publishing company does all the work. They do the designs, and they do the editing. They do all the work. Self publishing, you like I said before, you're doing all of the work. You're putting it in. So I had to decide when I got to testimony which way I wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, A Lifetime of Love part 1, I did a vanity publishing, and that was out of New York.
Okay.
So I think it was more like for each book, I knew which way I wanted to go with it. So yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So, you got so like a rapper will go, take a run or something like that before he does an album, or he'll go on like a retreat somewhere in the mountains to prepare for an album, right? What did
Uh-huh.
you do to help you
Yeah.
get prepared for each book when you wrote before you wrote them?
Before I wrote each book, I do a lot of prayer and
Okay.
praying and meditating. Um, I write down things, and then I have to take a break. I have to take a
Yeah.
break. Me and my coffee, gotta have my coffee to think straight. I go and pray. I'm an outside watcher, so I'll go and look out the window and get more inspired, and then I can go back and write. Um, I've been known to take a trip
Yeah.
to try to get my mind together. I actually just did that the beginning of January. I took a trip to Columbus to stay with my cousin, and I
Yeah.
did a whole meditating, getting my mind together because I knew testimony was coming out.
Mm.
And I knew that my publicist D was going, we have a lot of projects that we are working on to promote testimony.
Yeah.
Yes.
So okay, because I'm about to say, I so I want to write a book.
Okay.
You know, and and like what a lot of people don't know about this podcast, like I'm asking questions that I want to know. You know what I'm saying? Because like I honestly I do. I think that is so dope because I feel like this long after and you know what I'm saying, because we're all gonna pass away one day, but your book's gonna be around forever. That's your intellectual property that will be around forever. That
Yes.
you know not only benefit you, but benefit your kids and your grandkids. I think that's just so dope. And I know that for most writers, I'm pretty sure the mindset behind them creating something of a work of art like that is that you know that can transfer to other genres, not other genres, but other forms of media. Because I'm pretty sure if someone came to you and say, "Hey, lady, we want to make a play out your book, or we want to adapt it to, you know, to television or film or something of that effect," I'm pretty sure that's the goal, right?
It's real funny you said that because A Lifetime of Love Parts 1 and 2 is about to become a film this
Oh,
year.
look at that.
It's funny
Okay.
you said that like you knew it. Yes.
No, I listen because
The
I
director,
heard the concept. I'm like, that'd be a great you know movie or TV or something like that. So we'll talk about that. That's a great segue. Because that's dope. That's dope. Because okay, all right. So we'll get back to that. I did
okay.
want to touch on the mechanics of it all because I don't want our viewers to get jaded to think like this is something that came easy, like that it didn't require work, right? So my question to you is, what are some of the obstacles that a newer or a person who hasn't wrote a book before would have to face when they're trying to get their book out there, or even try to write a book per se?
I would say that once again the biggest obstacle is grammar. Word count is important.
Okay.
You can't you can't some publishing companies want you to have 10,000 or more words.
Mm.
Paragraphs, you need to be able to break up each thought. Um,
So do I have to be an English scholar? Do I have to be an English scholar to be an author? Okay.
no, no,
Okay.
no, no, you don't. That's where the editing come in at.
Ah. Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
But yeah, because I mean, because like I know, you know, we live in a society where everyone sees the accolades and the afterwork, but I part of why I love our podcast because we let you know how it is. Like it's not going to be easy. It's going to be worth it, but it's not going to be easy. And these are some of the things you'll have to deal with trying to pursue this goal or whatnot. So thank you for that.
Sometimes you will have writer's block too,
Mm,
where you had a thought in your head and you can't figure it out. So what I try to do is I could dream about it, a
mm,
title or something or a story. I have to get up and write it.
yeah.
Even if it's just a little bit of what I was thinking about. Because then if you don't write it when you think it, then when by the time you get in front of pencil and paper, you're like, I can't even,
Mm,
because a lot of times we can't remember our own dreams.
yeah. I
So
know I don't.
right. So I feel like that is a good thing to do. But I
Mm,
I also feel like that it over the years it just became a little easier for me. I just
yeah.
have to what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to hit on every genre for the most part. Um, children book and spirituality and self help and I'm just trying to hit on everyone as much as I possibly can.
No, that's dope. Let me ask you
Thank
this:
you.
from when you first wrote your first book to now, would you say that? Not saying that. What do you call that? The whole production of when from start to beginning has shortened over time. Will you say like, you know? So example, I'm saying. So you know how a sprinter when they first start running, they can get it under like I don't know 1 minute, right? But now
Right.
after so many races, like I can get that under like I don't know 30 seconds, right? For
Right.
you as an author, from now being at your seventh book versus your first book, when you say that the production or the work that goes into it, would you say is shortened over time, or my question: Are you getting better with time? Are you getting better with each book, like as far as like getting it done, editing it, structuring, all that good stuff?
No, I'm
No.
still, it's still, listen, it takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time. Like when I said earlier that sometimes I can just type it and write a whole book or something like that. It still takes time because I'm my own critic.
Mm,
So by the time I go back
yeah.
and read what I done wrote, because now I'm all into it, I'm all in my own zone, and I done
Mm,
typed it, to go back in and make more sense out of it,
yeah.
so that the reader can understand it better. So
Mm-hmm.
it still takes me a little time. For the most part, it takes me at least 6 months, at least,
Mm,
if I
okay.
want it the way that I want it.
I got you. So this is me. This is me. This is just me. Just thinking off the top of my head. How you ever started a project or how you ever started writing something, started on it, and then you came back to it was no longer there. You had to do it from scratch. No.
No,
Okay, that's good.
no, that hasn't happened to me,
No,
because then I'm
that,
gonna think somebody done deleted it or something. Is that what
right,
you meaning?
right. Hey, you know, it's so funny because I
I
can't
might
tell you
have a
how
fit.
many times we recorded like an episode, and I had not pressed record, and like the whole episode will be done. I'm like, oh, that episode was so great. Look, having hit record. That happened 3 times on separate occasions. I can say now that won't happen, but that's happened. That's why I asked that because it happens to the best of us, especially when you're in the beginning, right?
Right.
So yeah, no, okay. So we talk about the past, right?
Hmm.
We talk about the present. Let's talk
Yes.
about the future now. I know we talked about it earlier, but you were talking about how now you about to be Hollywood. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Exactly. Let's talk about how that even came to be. Like,
I wrote the first A Lifetime of Love.
mm-hmm,
I felt like that book was so good. Now, this just me not popping my collar or anything, but I felt like that needed to be a movie.
mm-hmm.
At the time when I was talking to a local director,
Here, Cleveland.
yeah, yes,
Oh, that's what I'm talking
he
about.
didn't, he could not do the filming of it. Just last year, mentioned to it to him again, and he was ready.
Hmm.
And so now we're gonna finally get A Lifetime of Love parts 1 and 2, like I wanted back in 2000 and what 15.
Hmm.
Yes.
That's crazy. You wrote it. You wrote that book so well. Like we got to put this. We got to put visual to it. That's dope. That's dope.
Because I never gave up. I
Yeah.
never gave up on making it a movie.
Yeah. No, that's listen. Man, y'all, my button is not working tonight, y'all. We got to clap that up
But
because
we
that's
clapping it for.
yeah. We got to do the actual clap and whatnot because I think that's something that we can't look over because I think when I was reading statistics before I got an interview, I think they were saying like there are plenty of authors who wrote something and you know they're able to publish it, but nothing came out of it. Right here, you are, wrote these books, and here it is. You already got one book already. That's already about to come into being. Be part of the whole different me. I think that's so dope. Let that be the first of many. But let's
Thank
let's
you.
speak that
Yes.
to existence. So and now next up all we need is a soundtrack. We need the album now. We need like the music to go along.
Oh, here we go. Are you ready?
Speak that into existence, right? I'll never forget growing up. My
No,
mom,
no. Actually, I am working on that as well because I wrote the words, themes of A Lifetime of Love.
I'm
Now,
sorry,
I'm not musically inclined.
I'm sorry. The your volume keeps cutting out.
You hear me?
I hear you a little bit better now.
Okay. Can you hear
There we
me?
go. Yeah, there we go.
what I wrote the words to the theme, A Lifetime of Love. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying I'm not musically inclined. I
Ah,
just wrote it because guess what? I'm a writer.
yeah.
So I have two people in mind that I want to sing the words to the song to go
Mm,
into the movie. So yeah, I'm
dope.
working on the soundtrack for that.
That's
You're
dope.
like saying stuff that I already
Yes, ma'am. Okay. All right.
I
Listen,
love
listen.
it. See?
That's dope.
Yay.
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. No, no, no. I remember growing up, TD Jakes, he had, what was the name of his book? Oh my goodness. My mom would kill me if I didn't if I don't remember. Because she used to play all the time. But it was a book. The book turned to a movie. And the movie, oh my goodness, why can't I remember this movie? My mom gonna kill me. Either way it goes, I remember because she had the soundtrack and she would play the soundtrack just like any black mother. She played it right before she started cleaning up. You know, we would hear it or whatnot. But I remember growing up because she had the movie, she had the book, and she had the soundtrack. And I thought that was just so uh dope even back then as a child that here is this work of art that transfer over into three different platforms. And I thought that was so great. And I think I believe that's a great sign of any work of art, that the fact that it transcends, saying these
Yes.
different platforms. So shout out to you.
Like the color purple. Like the color
Right,
purple.
right. And the Color Purple, you had to play the movie, the soundtrack.
Exactly.
You got
Exactly.
all different
Yes.
platforms. So
So you
yeah,
get to
no.
see it in different lights because a movie has a little bit of a difference to
Mm-hmm.
the book.
Yeah.
So if you read A Color Purple or or any other book, it may have more detail in it, or the movie may have more detail in it.
Yeah.
So I realized that A Lifetime of Love Parts 1 and 2 may have more detail in it.
So that's another question I want to ask, because I've always wondered with things that are written in the book versus the like writing a script for a movie. I'm pretty sure it's two different aspects, right? Would you say
Yes.
that for a script for a movie, you have to be more detail oriented? Because I'm pretty sure in the book, of course, you have the dialogue, the conversation is needed for the book, but in a movie, you gotta literally like script that thing out.
Yes. So in order to make it made for movie,
Mm-hmm.
to stretch it out to what, 2 hours or an hour and a half,
Yeah.
however long it is, you have to add like little things to it to put it into um a movie way. Like you said, with a book, yes, it's dialogue, but with a movie you have to like add a cousin or somebody
Mm-hmm.
extra to kind of make it stretch out into a movie
Mm-hmm.
form.
Yeah, kind of like build a world around the book or whatnot.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
okay, okay. So let me ask you this: when you had when you had to come up with a script for the movie, did you find yourself going back to the drawing board, like having to get more imaginative of the concept as a whole, or was it just like it was just easy? Like, okay, I need to add this person because you already had that in mind. Was it always there? Like, okay, and you want to expand upon it, or was it more exercising, like you had to be more creative?
Well, according to the director, because in this instance, I am the writer, the author, and the executive producer of the movie.
Oh, I mean, come on, come on, come on, come
Wait,
on, come
okay,
on.
wait.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
That's dope.
But the director, producer is who is going to change the book into a script.
Okay.
So that's what he's doing. He's
Okay.
going to bring it back to me. I'm going to go over the script, agree, disagree. We're going to finagle it. We're going to do what we got to do
Mm-hmm.
before we start casting and filming.
Ooh. And you get a chance to be a part of the whole journey. That is, come on,
Exactly. Yes.
that's dope. That's dope. And we got you on the podcast. I can't wait till 2 years from now you up there Tyler Perry up one time, you that or Shonda Rhimes, you on to the next
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
So that's dope. Yeah, no, listen, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Okay, so let me ask you this. So what advice would you give to somebody that aspires to be an author? Like what advice would you give them right now if they've tried and gave up, or they don't have the motivation to they want to do it, but they like I can't do it. What would you say to them right now?
I would tell them to never give up.
Mm.
Um, Follow your dreams. Life is short.
Mm-hmm.
We know that. Um, just keep pushing, keep praying, pick it back up another day. Pray about it first, pick it back up, try again. You just keep trying. Don't give up. Keep
Yeah,
going. Yes.
that's good. Those
Stay positive. That's it.
yeah. Okay. Okay. So we touched on your future projects. So I don't want to look over the fact that you are also an entrepreneur in other businesses also. And I know we talked about it off camera, but I wanted to talk about the future as far as other ventures that you have that you want to pursue.
Other adventures I want to pursue. Huh. I could be an actress.
I can see that. I can see that. I can see that.
Yes, I could be best-selling author is what I'm gonna be.
Oh no, that's already happening. We already know that's
Right.
going down. That we are
Um,
that's a given now. That's a given.
I'm leaving my legacy. I have a legacy to leave to all four of my daughters.
Hmm.
Um, I already started that by way of getting a house for them so that when I do leave this earth, they will be well taken care of. Um, I'm
That's
also I'm also trying to teach my girls to never give up. So I feel like I'm an example to them to follow their dreams and to keep
mm,
going. When they think they're about to give up, they watching mama pray.
that's
They
good.
watching me meditate. They watching me talk positive. So I'm giving it to them, even though my oldest is 34. She's
Mm,
still not too old to go to school or not go to school if she doesn't want to. But whatever your thoughts is, pray about it. I'm a big person on write the vision, make it plain.
mm,
Becca, you write the vision out, you make it plain, you put it in your Bible, you put it on your wall. I have a vision board on my wall. 2 years at a time, I do my vision board. So I do these things so that when my daughters come into my room, because this is my girl room,
yeah.
so that they can see these things and then it keeps them positive. So I'm good at motivating, inspiring, and trying to encourage.
You encourage me. So no, you know
Thank
what I'm
you.
saying? So yeah, no,
and
shout
I've
out to
been
you.
married for and I've been married for 30, almost 32 years in April.
Yes, congratulations. Congratulations. Look,
Thank you.
we cut that up
Look,
right
here we
there.
go. Me
That's
and you
amazing right
together
there.
is doing good.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. That's good.
Yes.
So
And that's mostly what a lifetime of love is about.
mm,
That even though you go through what you go through, love is the answer.
yeah.
Love it. I'm not going to tell I will tell you the end of the story. Just put it like this: love conquers all.
Mm.
So there you have it.
So okay, you might we dive into that because I know we're right around the time of Valentine's Day. Can you give us some wisdom on just on how what advice you give someone in 2023 who has given up on love? What advice would you give?
Ooh.
Considering that again, you've been married, I'm pretty sure you seen it all, did it all. What advice you give?
That is it. Keep God first. Let
Listen,
me
come
tell you something. Let me tell you something.
look.
Look,
It's not
press
working
it. It
night,
shouldn't
y'all.
work. Press it. Press it.
I wish I look, I wish, listen. I wish it would work. Come on, y'all. I hope y'all hear this.
Here you go. Something, right? So funny. I love this. Keep God in the middle of your relationship.
Yeah.
When you allow other people to get in between your relationship, it's like two things sitting on the table, and the more people you get in the middle of it, the more separated you become.
Ooh, that's good.
Me and my husband married each other 4 times. We renewed our vows 4 times
Mm,
because I've been with him for 30 something years since high
yeah.
school. So we allowed so many different things in the midst of it. And then the last renewal, we put God in the middle, and that's how you keep it. You stay prayed up. I couldn't be more. You have to keep God in the middle of it.
No, that's great advice. That is great advice. So thank you for that. Okay. All right. So let's get to it. So as everyone knows who watched the podcast, I had this little question I like to ask our great guests, because one of the reasons why we started this podcast is because everyone knows Cleveland has a bad stigma. Everyone, the stigma for Cleveland, unfortunately, it's been said that we don't support each other. But our podcast is a good example of how we are, because we have great people like Lady on tonight. So my question to you, Lady, is what do you think what needs to happen for us to break that stigma for our city?
We have to support one another. We have to support one another. There's too much competition. There's too much hating. Everybody is trying to be the best something. You have a beauty salon on every corner. You have a church on every corner. And it's like everybody is trying to outdo each other. And I just feel like we just really, really do need to support each and every one of each other. We need to just start doing that, because I noticed that a lot of people from Ohio, a lot of celebrities have left Ohio because of that stigma. They couldn't think of nothing else to do but to go to LA, New York, Chicago. Exactly. Because they didn't believe in them. Laughing at them. Oh, you're not going to be a celebrity. And then you look on the TV, there they are.
Yeah.
So I think that the negativity needs to stop. I think we need to support one another at all times. Embrace each other with what we're doing. Be happy for the next person. No more hating, because it's not necessary. What God does for me, He does it for me. But if He does it for me, He can do it for someone else.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
Thank you.
Wait, shout out to D and to your publicist
D.
Because that's the homie right there. And any way I can support her, and she does the same thing. She comes to the event, so shout out to her. You know what I'm saying? Because she put it together now, and now you're part of the family now. And now you're alumni, by the way. So,
yes.
So thank you for coming.
Invite me to the things that you have.
Yes, ma'am.
I really appreciate D. And I'll tell you a little story real quick before we leave.
Yeah.
I've always been a DIY author. DIY author is the same as anything else, do it yourself. So when I would write my book and I would get it published and I would try to do the editing my own self, it didn't turn out as good. So sometime last year, my daughters and my husband came to me and said, you need a publicist. You need a team. And that's when I went on LinkedIn, and it was a whole slew that could be my publicist. But it was something about D that made me click her, write to her, and we have been good ever since. She has good content. She helps me out with my social media, because I don't do anything mostly on my social media. She helps me out with events. And I feel like God sent her to me to help me, because I have a great team. I'm doing a whole lot more with testimony than I did with any of the other 6 books, for the most part, other than A Lifetime of Love. That just came back to fruition, because I feel like it just came back around the corner, because God wanted it to come back around the corner.
Yeah.
But shout out to D, because she is doing very well. I appreciate her.
D reminds me of like Puff Daddy created Bad Boy, or like Russell Simmons created Def Jam. Like she's a whole mogul out here. Like we like you give her time.
Yes.
Yeah. And
because like, you know what? There's that other thing that I'm saying. Some people don't share what they know. Some people try to keep all the.
Yeah.
We all need to eat.
Yeah. No, listen.
She could have easily been one of those who could have just kept every resource and knowledge that she knows to herself.
Yeah.
But she's not that girl. She's helping me to learn more about branding, my
Yeah.
name, Lady. So she teaching me that stuff while I'm teaching her about being an author.
Mm-hmm.
So we're helping each other, and that's what people need to do. Instead of keeping information to themselves, share, because you could be helping the next person.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yes.
love the analogy that we all seen it, but that whole picture of the bread aisle, and we all different bread in the aisle. Hey, listen, you might be wheat, you know what I'm saying? But I like white bread, you know?
Exactly.
So hey, it's no shade on you. I just happen to want that, or your audience might want that, and like you said, it's enough to go around for all of us. And like you said,
It
I
is.
love that, and I shout, like I said, shout out to D, because I can see her doing that. Because once again, I met D. I remember she asked me to come to one of her events that she was hosting, and I came out and I supported her, and I seen it in that moment because she had all these different ministers that she was helping. And I'm like, oh yeah, she on the sun right here. And for me, I always, like you said, I always want to support people, because I want to support too. But I feel like in order for you to receive, you got to give it first, right?
Yes.
And like I said, once again, she's there at all our events. So like I said, I appreciate that. So
That's
shout
right.
out to D, So okay, all right. So you kind of touched on it earlier about your legacy, but I wanted to ask you, what do you want your legacy to be for your for your I'm gonna, because it's bigger than a business, because your books is more than I want to say your overall brand, because your books, because you already got the books, now you about to get into movies, what do you want your legacy to be for those?
I want everybody from here to I don't know where to know who Lady is.
Mm,
Period. I don't care if you're in Guatemala. I'm just
yeah,
making up some stuff. I want you to be able to say, okay, that's Lady. Lady has these many books. Lady is a woman of God. Lady loves her grandkids, her kids, and just a social butterfly.
yeah.
There's nobody that's a stranger to me. I'll tell anybody that. I am that girl that will hold a whole conversation with you and you don't even know me.
Mm,
And my girls get on me all the time. They like, you talk to anybody because you don't know who know.
yeah, no, you're right about that. Right about
So
that.
that's what I want. My brand, Lady, to be known not just because of my books, but because of my books, but also know me as who I am.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good right there.
Yes. Thank you.
So okay, so I wanted to point. I wanted to once again give you your due, because so many authors, they don't get appreciated for their work until unfortunately, after they pass. So many artists, take for instance Picasso. No one even had Picasso work until after he was long gone. Now we got museums, we got exhibits, all that good stuff after he passed away. Here it is. You're still you get a chance to get your flowers now with your works of art. So
Yes.
I wanted to just once again give your flowers while we can, because I don't want you to
Thank you.
minimize that. I think people need to recognize the fact that here it is, 7 years, time in, you get a chance to see it in fruition. I think that's so great. It's like a lot of
Yes,
people.
it is definitely a blessing.
Yeah. So shout out to you.
Thank you. Shout out to God.
Oh no, you ain't never lied. Shout out to the big man upstairs.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna be that one on that award show talking about, and then I'm gonna walk off the
There
stage.
you go. Yeah, mic drop.
Right, that's
Right
it.
on. There you go.
I can't do
Okay.
nothing without him. I don't know. I don't push on anyone.
Uh-huh.
Be spiritual. Be spiritual. Believe and believe. Please believe. Someone, anybody, believe that you can get help from your whatever higher power.
Yeah.
But for me, shout out to God.
No,
Yes.
listen. Hey, like you said, I'm with you. I recognize God, because without him, I'm nothing,
I am nothing. Yes.
Yep. So yeah, all hey, listen. Thank you, Lord. So okay.
Right. Amen.
So I did. So okay. So we talked about that. So I did want to wind it down. I want to ask, because we talked about so many great things tonight. what are 3 things you want someone to take away from tonight's interview?
I feel like I'm feeling like a broken record because I probably didn't hit up on this so many times.
Listen. Let's ride that message home.
Yes, just bring it on home. Believe in yourself.
Okay, that's good.
Don't let the naysayers be naysayers. Keep praying. That is my go-to. That is my go-to. Just be positive. Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Because who is? You got to believe in yourself so that you can do the things that you need to do.
I love Chris Rock saying, especially, we said that this how he believes when it comes down to you pursuing anything in life. You have to first do it, not saying do it yourself. You got to first put the work in, because just like if you're on the side of the road and your car break down and you see your car, no one's going to get out their car to help you push your car. But if they see you pushing your car, they're going to help you too, because they see that you're trying yourself, right?
That's right.
That's how it is. But when you trying to pursue whatever you're trying to pursue, you have to put the work in. People got to see you do it, and then the people will come. So you can't.
Yes. And in the Bible, it said, "Works without faith is dead."
It's dead. Don't start preaching now, lady. Don't you start that.
We about to look. Here we go.
Right.
Because I truly believe that you got to have faith in what you're doing in order for it to happen.
Yeah.
You can't just sit and be like, "Oh, I just want to do X, Y, and Z. I want that job or whatever." And you just sitting there and think it's just going to fall out the sky. No, you have to get up. You have to do whatever you got to do, the works, to get what you want to get. So,
absolutely. So listen, we appreciate you tonight, and we thank you for gracing our podcast tonight with the words of wisdom and inspiration you gave us tonight. So, question: where can people reach you at?
I am on all the social media platforms. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and they all are Ladi, Ladii, Patterson, Patterson.
Perfect. And by the way, guys, so once again, just like any other thing, you don't have to go searching. I'm gonna have all in the show notes, so you get right there. And that way, not only that, but that way you can purchase her book right in the show notes. So get all her books.
Yes, go on Amazon, go on Barnes and Noble, go on Lulu.com. Those are the different ways that you can get the book. Don't forget about my website, linktree.com/Ladi Patterson.
Yep.
There you'll see interviews and IMDb. As I said, I keep saying it wrong. IMDb.
That's awesome. And like I said,
yes, thank you.
So y'all don't have to go searching. It'll be right there for y'all. So y'all want to purchase a book, boom, hit it right there. Okay. I want to thank you again, lady. And once again, so listen, we're gonna do part two. Part two, we're gonna have you come to the wine, and we're gonna have like a whole book read. We're gonna set it up. Okay, it's gonna be
that's right. Thank you. Yes.
So I thank you again, and I thank you guys again for watching and seeing the great entrepreneur that our great city has to offer. Cleveland is a great city. When you guys get a chance, come out and see Lady, come out and see what was going on with our city, guys, because we got a great city. And I want to thank you guys for coming out every week and watching these great interviews of these great people in our city. So thank you guys. And until next time, peace.